We got 8 playoff games this weekend. Steph Curry will be back on the floor tonight looking to continue his historic season in a winner-take-all play-in game against the Grizzlies. Curry, as you know, led the NBA in scoring this year for the second time. Yesterday, he was named as one of 3 MVP finalists. And let's dive into him and his season here a little bit with the 2 guys who did it with me on radio yesterday. Timmy Legs brought it up, and then Zach Lowe, as always, jumped in. I don't need to tell you if you love basketball, the Low Post podcast is where the conversation takes place. And Zach, just picking up on the thought that Tim Legler gave us yesterday on radio and then earlier on this show here today, the season that Steph Curry has had, carrying this team as he had, what has it done, in your view, for his place in the history of the game?
I think it has emphatically opened the door to exactly the conversations that Legs is talking about. One of the greatest players of all time. If he has a few more years like this, he's going to be in that kind of conversation. Is he the second greatest point guard ever? Is he a top 10 or top 12 player? But I do think it's going to take a few more years because unusually for players of that stature, it took 5 years for Curry to make an all-star team. This will be his 7th All-NBA team this season. I think just in terms of longevity at the top, he's going to have to pile up a few more. But this season has been a declaration. I am still right there at the top, and I got a bunch of years left right there at the top. And if he does have a bunch of years left, Legs is absolutely right. We've been underappreciating how good this guy is and where he's going to end up ranking.
Yeah, well, Legs, I heard Stephen A. making some note of this yesterday. Like, when you consider the Warriors, maybe they win tonight, maybe they move into the playoffs, it has been a sensational season. When they get everybody back, and by everybody, I guess I mean Klay Thompson, do you think Steph has more championships in his future? You put one more great piece on this, and we all certainly hope, knock on wood, that Klay is healthy. Are we looking at more titles for Steph in the future?
You know, to say definitively yes is difficult because, you know, look, these teams are pairing superstars up on a regular basis. Every summer there's another couple pairing up. You don't know how long Brooklyn's going to be together. How long are AD and LeBron going to play? So they'll be in the mix, but can they actually get it across the finish line? It's tough to say. As far as the conversation with Steph Curry and where he belongs historically, I'm not the definitive judge on saying this is exactly where guys need to be ranked. It's so subjective. All I'm saying is we have to recalibrate these lists, and we have to start rethinking where Steph Curry belongs on these lists, because you're talking about a guy at age 27 as a 2-time MVP and a champion, accepting Kevin Durant to come in and really living in his shadow for several years in Golden State, and then having a year of injuries after that. And he sacrificed an awful lot in terms of personal accolades and the way he was going to be viewed. You know, Durant got those 2 Finals MVPs, not Steph Curry. So now, after all that time, to revisit it in his early 30s, and actually have the best offensive stretch of his entire career when we thought we'd already seen all of that, for me, Steph Curry, is what he's done this year makes you think about what could have been for him personally over the last 4 or 5 years. And if he had years like this for the last 4, even if he gave him a 1 injury year, there's no question that Steph Curry will have played himself up possibly to that top 10 area, and certainly a guy now that maybe can solely claim the title as second greatest point guard behind Magic Johnson.
It was a really interesting point yesterday. Speaking of historical perspective, I want you both to hear what Charles Barkley said when he was a guest on this show, Get Up, yesterday with us.
If he's able to win 3 straight series on the road in the West, and he's able to beat the Brooklyn Nets, we might have to have a real conversation about the GOAT. We might have to have that.
So that was Charles Barkley talking about LeBron. If he wins 3 straight series on the road in the West and then beats that big 3 from Brooklyn, I will put it in the form of a question, Zach Lowe. What would it mean for LeBron's place in history?
Look, I think Charles is right on it. I actually think the bubble championship clouded the GOAT conversation for the first time. That's 4 titles for LeBron, 10 finals appearances. For some reason, LeBron's losses in the finals are held against him. Michael's losses in the earlier rounds of the playoffs are just sort of part of his journey to being the GOAT. I think that 4th championship, I think it changed the GOAT discussion from it's at least an argument. You just can't yell and scream 6-0 in the finals, 6-0 in the finals, 6-0 in the finals, and it's over. Now, a fifth title, I think it comes pretty close to even. And look, statistically, it's not going to be close by the end of LeBron's career. He's going to have lapped Michael in almost every category.
Yeah, having played many more seasons, of course, Michael played 3 years of college.
Sure.
I'm just trying to prevent all the people who are going to start yelling and screaming that before they get a chance to do it. Timmy Legler, final thought. How about that? If LeBron does it and beats those guys in Brooklyn, what will it mean?
Well, I think the conversation has already been changed basically over the last decade. Prior to what LeBron did in the last decade, it was a very short conversation. Like if I saw you in the hallway in Bristol, Greeny, we'd say, hey, how's it going as we're passing by? That's a brief conversation. That's about how long the conversation was about who the greatest player of all time was prior to the last decade. Now it'd be a conversation if I ran into you about your Jets or my Washington football team. We would have some long conversations about that, and that's what the conversation has become. LeBron James has thrust himself into it. It's very subjective. I still think Jordan's the greatest of all time for me, but I'm biased. I played against that guy for an entire decade. He won 6 rings in my 10 years in the league. Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit biased, but LeBron James has already thrust himself into that. And look, if he pulls this off this postseason, yes, the conversation gets a little bit longer, and that chair he's sitting in gets a little bit taller next to the one that Michael Jordan already occupies by himself.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.